I almost died. That 3-month period, I was just so snowed under. And I just remember in October, it was the school holidays. And my husband at the time was a school principal, had 3 kids who were also on holidays. And I couldn't, I took one day to go hiking with the family, and shit went down in the morning and I couldn't go.
It's not underestimate how nice it is to have a few extra hours back in your day for family time, or to make sure you don't have to miss dinner. I mean, the amount of times I'd be pushing my limits with 2 kids and working the late hours, and I'd be getting the call like, when are you coming? When are you coming?
The reason why they started looking was because their existing rate was uncompetitive. And if the existing rate was competitive, it would have stopped that whole searching, discovery. That never would have occurred in what we found in the conversations I had with my existing clients back then.
Let's talk about the fact that the data points drive consumers to brokers and brokers to consumers. And the smart brokers would always not ask for the vanilla type of customers, because it's becoming increasingly hard to find what vanilla is in this world, right?
Where I have frustration is around the artificial intelligence solutions that remove the human equation. I've been a strong advocate for consumer-centric design, which means building systems around the consumer that help them achieve their goals.
We feel typically has happened in the space, particularly over the last 5 years, as we've seen a lot of this digital disruption or evolution of the neobanks coming into the Australian market, is they've really ignored the broker sector, which is the dominant force in home loan lending.
There's so many insurers now that are putting on sub-limits to ransomware attacks. So anywhere where ransomware meaning, someone gets a hold of your system and says, we're locking it down unless you pay us 50,000 or a Bitcoin.
There's absolutely channel conflict. And I came from a bank, which I won't name, but a bank that actually advocates that there is no channel conflict. But absolutely, in our back of house room, on our target board, there was a specific target for taking a broker client and bringing them back in-house.
Brokers in our industry who, when they first get into the industry, they start their business, open an entity, a lot of them as a sole trader. And then as their business has continued to grow and mature, they actually haven't gone back and reviewed their business structure and how that entity has been set up. And there's some pros and cons of that.
Don't leave it to your accountant, because they sometimes, not all accountants, but sometimes they will think, they'll ask me when they're ready to change incorporated entities or whether they move to a trust. But it's one of those things that you don't know what you don't know. So have a list of questions every year for your accountant. One of them is, am I in the right trading entity, or should I be changing? And there's lots of other questions, of course, that we should have for our accountant every year.